Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup on Free FM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and as always, live on Skype, we got Josh.
Yo.
So, Royal Rumble pay-per-view coming up. My favourite pay-per-view of the year. Arguably the best, completely ignoring WrestleMania. So we're going to go straight into the preview for that, and pretty much everything that happened on Raw and SmackDown this week is going to lead into things for the Rumble, so we'll just get there as we get there. But we will start on the pre-show. We've got two matches, both from Raw. The first one is for the Raw Tag Team Championship, Cesaro and Sheamus defending against Gallows and Anderson. And there's two referees assigned to the match, and we need to remember that Cesaro and Sheamus are both also announced for the Rumble match.
Yeah, which is why the match is taking place on the pre-show and not the main card.
Yeah, I guess it's just that way to, give them that rest that they could have. It also depends on when we're going to have the explosion of the two. Obviously, they're not going to stick together for that much longer. Are we going to explode them now and have them continue in the Rumble? Are we going to have an accidental Cesaro accidentally screws over Sheamus and then tensions rise in the Rumble? Or are we going to have them successfully defend and start that tension in the Rumble? Or is everything just going to go honky-dory and we're going to exit with perfectly formed tag champs?
And it's almost as unpredictable as the Royal Rumble matches. I'm going to bite the bullet here.
You're going to give it to the club?
I'm going to say the club finally wins the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships.
I think so too. I think
I just felt my liver fail. That hurt.
I think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to start their descent at this point. And I think it's going to be from an accident. Just one of those subtle things that happens in the tag match that brings up a little bit of doubt. Rumble match, probably continue that tension going a little bit, and then they'll probably have a rematch on Raw where they totally explode and can't work together. Maybe one walks out. That's how I foresee this going. And Gallows and Anderson, all good luck to you guys in an attempt to make your reign relevant, really. I honestly think it might be a struggle.
Or they could just be placeholders until Enzo and Cass get the titles.
True. Enzo and Cass, as far as I know, still dealing with the Rusev and Jinder, but that can stop at any time, really. Our other match on the pre-show, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax straight off defeating a quote-unquote local talent on Raw. Which way is it going to go?
I'm going to say Sasha Banks overcomes the odds somehow, beating Nia Jax.
Okay. Again.
Largely because we need to keep the boss strong, because we're going to eventually end up having Bayley versus Sasha.
Yeah. I could still see it, as much as that is the logical outcome, I'm still not going to be surprised if Nia Jax wins. Just because we are still trying to build her up at the same time. And you can have the, Sasha Banks clawing her way through and then Nia Jax just tipping her over. Maybe with something that happens during the match, an antic on the outside or something. That allows Nia Jax to get the upper hand and to pick up the win. Or, as you said, Sasha Banks takes out the win and moves on, presumably, sooner or later to Bayley, which seems to be the feud we've had lined up for a while. Just keeps, delaying it and pushing it back a little bit. And then on the main card, just announced on SmackDown, we're getting Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi taking on Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya.
They finally remembered that they need more than one match from SmackDown on the Royal Rumble card.
Yeah, it was a rough for SmackDown.
Well, this at least keeps the storylines going. Gets Naomi some use, and it looks like she may end up being Alexa Bliss's next feud.
Yeah.
Somebody had posed, who would you partner up with Becky to fend off Alexa and Mickie? And I immediately said, let's see if they can remember that Naomi's on the roster. And then Naomi comes out and they do the segment with Alexa.
Not including Eva Marie, is this all 6 of the women on this roster?
Well, Carmella.
Good point. Busy with James. Yeah, it definitely seems as though they're all paired up. Becky Lynch, Mickie James, Nikki Bella, Natalya, and that does leave Alexa Bliss, Naomi. I'm almost not worried in that case, you know. For some reason, I just don't have that strong of an inkling that Naomi would be able to overcome Alexa Bliss and take the title. So I could definitely see Alexa Bliss retaining through that feud and coming out the other end, presumably up against Nikki Bella. That seems to be the high caliber or the main event feud for that title that might be coming out soon.
Oh, I could actually see Naomi winning the title.
I don't know what it is, I just don't see it. For whatever reason, I just don't see her as someone who will be walking around with that championship anytime soon. And maybe, you know, it's always going to be my favoritism towards Alexa Bliss, but if it was Bliss versus Lynch, I could see Lynch walking off with it. If it was Mickey versus Bliss in some twisted world, I could see Mickey walking out with the title. If it's Nikki Bella versus Alexa Bliss, I could see Nikki walking out with the title as well. I just don't see...
You know what? I have a proposal for WWE that I'm not sure they'll go with, but...
What we got?
Let's go with it. You're so keen on doing history for the women.
You're having a woman elimination chamber match, aren't you?
Do a woman elimination chamber match.
Yep.
Take these 6 ladies, lock them up in the chamber.
I'm torn. Because the fact that we've put them in a 6-woman tag at the moment definitely means that they're okay with intertwining these feuds. Honestly, I'm not going to mind it. Elimination Chamber isn't necessarily one of the stipulation-heavy matches. You know, sure, you can throw them into the chamber and grate their face across the metal floor, but for the most part, you can still just treat it as a regular match. So yeah, I could see it happening. I would not be shocked if in the coming weeks we get that announced. Then a match from... Is this one a Raw match or a 205 Live match? Rich Swann defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Neville.
Technically both.
Okay.
Because the Cruiserweights are the sole property of Raw.
They just lend them to 205.
Corbin.
Yeah. Is the King of the Cruiserweights walking out with the title?
Yes.
Yep.
If he doesn't, it's a major mistake.
He is, ever since his return, I'm going to use the PG term, damn hot right now. And it's, given that title, let him go with it. You know, he could do wonders. Pretty much anyone in that division can spark up a feud, and anyone in that division can put on a damn good match with Neville. It just seems so much more versatile, so many more options, and so much more momentum for Neville, especially as the established star, to be taking almost a chokehold onto that division and just getting to the top. And it's always great when someone comes back and calls their shots.
Just hanging out in the background until it's time that the gentleman takes the reins.
Yeah. It's obvious that he'd be coming up sooner or later. I don't know if he'd be Neville's first feud after Rich Swann.
I think that would be too soon, because I think if Gallagher challenges for the title, he has to win it.
Yeah.
And the first feud, Neville can't lose the title.
True.
Of course, we said that about T.J. Perkins.
Good point.
And we said that about Brian Kendrick.
Yeah. Been pretty rough for the Cruiserweight champion. But Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander also a feud in the background coming to a close soon, so you've also got those two talents. Probably Cedric, out of the two of them, would be the one to challenge Neville. And then there's plenty of other talent they're shoving on it. Grand Metalik seems to have gone missing, is still floating around.
Again?
Yeah.
The only time it's been seen was when they are introduced the Cruiserweights for the start of the 205 Live show.
Yeah. People go missing in the Cruiserweight division. They just disappear for a little while.
Missing for 3 months, made that appearance, missing for 3 more months.
Yeah, rough. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Charlotte defending against Bayley. Is this going to be Bayley's time?
I'm 50-50 on this one.
Ooh, flip a coin?
Kind of. Half of me says to go with my heart and say Bayley comes out on top.
Yeah.
Half of me says go with my brain and say this isn't the right moment. Yet.
No, she needs to lose here and then win on Raw. Because that's what happens. Got to keep that streak alive. Oh, but yeah.
I'd like to see Bayley win it at WrestleMania.
Okay.
At the same time, I want to see Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania. So it's kind of a conundrum.
Odds we get another triple threat?
That's probably pretty likely too. You hold a gun to my head, and I'll say Bayley wins the title.
Just to be contrary, I'll say Charlotte Flair retains and keeps her streak alive. As much as I would like to see Bayley win. I can't understate that. I would much rather, at the moment, Bayley as champion. But whether, as you said, now is the right time or not, we'll see how it goes. So we just got the big title matches and the Rumble left to go, but it's time for our entrance song of the week. You picked a slightly weird one until you gave me context. We're going to be playing RVD's One of a Kind, quote unquote, because you have a hunch.
Yes. I believe he'll be one of the surprise entrants in the Rumble.
We're back with Wrestling Roundup 389.0, Grady and Josh. AJ Styles, John Cena, WWE Championship. We're going to see Mr. 16 here?
Yes, we are going to see the 16th championship reign of John Cena.
Okay. And then we got a no disqualifications match for the WWE Universal Championship. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns with Chris Jericho in a shark cage.
This one has, I think, has more effect on the Rumble than the other title match.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this match really will determine more along the lines of who has a chance at winning the Rumble.
Yeah, because we've, at least for SmackDown, we've already had it announced that they will be having an elimination chamber for the title. So whoever wins this one is presumably going to be put in the chamber with the loser of the match and 4 other guys. Whereas Raw, you're left open, you don't necessarily know. If Kevin Owens wins, then there's a pool of people who could win the Rumble. If Roman Reigns wins, there's a pool of people who could win the Rumble as potential challengers.
And Roman's pool is larger than Kevin Owens.
Yeah. But there's still some great matchups in the Kevin Owens pool that personally I would like to see as well. But it's tossing up the likelihood of what's going to happen. In terms of the title match, I'd almost flip a coin on it. I don't have any tip either way in terms of expecting one or the other. You could always just go with the lol Roman wins strategy and pick Roman. But there's still a heavy chance that Kevin Owens manages to pull out a retention.
I'm going to say Roman Reigns wins the title.
For the official word, I will also say that, yeah.
I just think there's more possibilities with Roman as champion than there is Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is pretty much Jericho or Finn Balor.
Or Sami.
Or Sami Zayn, if you want to see that feud again.
Could happen, though.
But that's really the 3 options you have for Kevin Owens. While Roman Reigns, you could have Goldberg, you could have Undertaker, you could have
Brock Lesnar,
you could have
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. You could even have returning Finn Balor and Sami Zayn if you wanted to.
Sami Zayn Reigns would be so damn risky.
Yeah, but those are all options on the table for Roman.
Yeah.
And those aren't even all the options Roman has.
I think we'll get into that. So the Rumble match. I'll run down a competitor, okay? I'll say the competitor's name. You give me, a percentage chance that they make it even near the end. So 100% is...
Let's go with Final Four.
Okay, yep, we'll go Final Four. So Goldberg.
25%.
Yeah, I'm going to put Goldberg, Brock Lesnar in the same bucket. I think both of them are going to lead to their WrestleMania match, and I think there's going to be some form of elimination with them. All of the New Day.
1%. And that goes for each one member.
Okay. Not a 2% for Kofi?
No.
Okay. Chris Jericho.
35%.
Yeah, I'd give you that. Braun Strowman.
85%.
I was going to say 90. Damn good chance that Strowman makes it to Final Four.
I think he'll be Final 2.
Depending on who's up there with him, yes. Baron Corbin.
I'm going to go with 40%.
I'd love it. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it will either, but there's a much better chance for him than most of the other people already in the match.
True. The Undertaker.
50-50.
I'm going to give him a 60%, just a higher percentage, because I think he will come out really late in the numbers. And I think that just lends itself to making it to Final Four just that little bit more. Dean Ambrose.
13%.
I think Dean and The Miz are not finished with each other, much in the way of Goldberg-Lesnar. and that neither of them are going to make it particularly Final Four-ish. So I'd put them in the same bucket, and I'd put them around your 15% chance. Because, they are both upper mid, but not necessarily going to be Final Four material. Dolph Ziggler?
0%.
That's just you crossing your fingers and saying it.
No, that's because of his storyline.
True. Cesaro Sheamus?
Also 0%.
Yeah. Sorry. These three, I'm going to list them together, but you can give them different odds. Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper. Especially after what happened on SmackDown.
I'm going to go 20% across the board.
Okay. So on SmackDown, Randy Orton defeated Luke Harper, and then Bray Wyatt gave Luke Harper a Sister Abigail. We're still yet to decide whether that means he's kicked out, or whether that was just tough love, like a too bad you lost. So I don't know what the sort of situation with the Wyatts right now is.
It's definitely fluid. I think we are really, really close to the end of the Wyatt family storyline.
I'm going to give their group a 60%, because I think one of those three, probably not Harper, will be getting near the end. I don't think the whole group will be there, but I think one of them, and I can't decide between Wyatt or Orton at the moment, is going to make it decently far. The medium show?
I'm going to say, just because he's a giant, I'll give him 5%.
How can you eliminate a giant?
Because I have a feeling Braun Strowman will take care of that for us.
I have a different suggestion, but I'll get down at the bottom when we start talking about surprises. Sami Zayn.
Well, anything can happen. I'll be fair to him, and I'll give him a 25% chance.
I'm going a lot higher on him. I'm giving him like a 50-50. I think he's going to be that underdog left down in the Final Four that ultimately doesn't win, but gets a good showing. Just because, he had to fight for a spot.
He could end up coming out number one and being the next Bob Backlund.
True.
In terms of being the longest person in the match without winning the match.
Yeah. Big Cass? 0.
3%.
Rusev?
0%.
And Mojo Rawley?
As much as I love him, 0%.
And that leaves us with 8 spots. And now this is where the fun begins. Who's going to be in those 8 spots? Obviously, the big rumor circulating right now, Kurt Angle, with his recent Hall of Fame announcement, cancelling a few dates, appearance, entrance. Odds we see a Kurt Angle?
10%.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not on the hype board train for that one.
Yeah, I'd be hyped if it happened. It would be a great moment.
If it happens, I'll mark out.
Yeah.
But I don't expect.
Fair enough. That's the exact same place I'm sitting on it. Just not too 100% sure on it right now. Obviously, we played its song, RVD, in town.
He's in the area. He's doing these comedy show things, but there's no date for Sunday. And the date on Saturday is in Houston, Texas.
He could make it in.
Yeah, he could definitely be there if all I have to do is just call him, and I'm sure he'll come in for the appearance.
Yeah. So odds of RVD?
I'll say because he's in the area, 50-50.
Okay. Now, Shaq. We're still setting up Big Show Shaq for WrestleMania. I don't see any other way that's going at the moment. Odds that he makes an appearance.
I think he may make an appearance during the show, but not in the Rumble match.
You're thinking like an in the crowd type interaction?
Yeah, it'll be like he'll be shown in the crowd. They'll have a stare down as Big Show comes down for his entrance. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to actually be in the Rumble. Then again, anything is possible, and it's very likely he could.
Yeah. NXT, Ty Dillinger. Is he going to come out number 10?
I'll say this. If he doesn't, whoever does come out number 10 will be booed as hard as Rey Mysterio was when he came out instead of Daniel Bryan.
Yep. It will be rough. You are going to have to put a Brock Lesnar type in that number 10 spot.
Or Sami Zayn.
That would just be hilarious. So odds Ty shows up?
I'll give it
10%?
10 times 10 is 100%.
Ooh, 100% tie. Okay. Another NXT. Samoa Joe.
50-50.
Okay. Heavily tipped at the moment. Honestly, like the UK betting sites had him as the favourite to win. I think
could see him being in it like AJ was last year.
Hmm.
But no, he's not going to win.
Lay your bets now, people. Anyone else you think they could show up? Don't say Chris Masters or Carlito. There's so many possibilities. I assume there'll be a returning legend that'll pop in. There'll be a couple of guys from Raw, a couple of guys from SmackDown that didn't necessarily, get featured. A Kalisto and Apollo Crews thrown in there.
Alright, let's see.
In terms of, like, a big name, or somebody returning that everybody would freak out for, I can't. There's a lot of them still thrown around, but there's none that I think are highly probable.
My surprise entrance will be from NXT.
Okay.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Higher or lower odds than Samoa Joe showing up?
How about the same?
Okay. I definitely think Shinsuke and Joe is a one or the other. I definitely don't see both. Alright, so, final prediction.
Almost Bobby Roode.
True. Final predictions. We're running out of time. Who's going to win the Rumble? Gotta pick one name. Okay, The Undertaker. Why not? I will just randomly take... I can't think of a name. Braun Strowman. There you go. That's my pick. So, it's been great talking to you.
Maybe.
Visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio. And we'll see you next week with the Royal Rumble.